Good Sunday morning. This is hashtag everyone talking about hashtag everything. I'm Kate Doherty with the Radical Ryan and the lovely Laura, the magnificent Mac, and the practically Penny. Well, actually, we asked him to stay home today because old Ryan's got the fevers, the shakes, and the chills, so we've ordered him.
Kate and I are brave.
He is not allowed to breathe on us or near me because this is the Sunday before Rhinestones and Rodeo.
Right. That's right.
Uh-huh. And
you want to come closer to me? No.
Yeah, I kind of do. I mean,
blame you.
Tis the cold and flu season. I mean,
Tis to having kids too. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and yours are only little. They're only 3. So
they get everything and anything.
They aren't inoculated
They take
yet.
it all home.
And you aren't inoculated yet either. Me, I could lick the table at this point. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
As you.
No. And then you add in the fact you got diabetes, so you're autoimmune. And
It's already down.
Sure.
Yeah. One of these days, though, I'm telling you, you'll be able to lick the table.
I hope
kids
so.
will get you
because that's what I look forward to is licking the table.
You should, especially
Absolutely.
the table at Rhinestones and Rodeo.
100%. Yeah.
Now that
all the
is
great
something
stuff
we
that's there,
are
there's no
all
doubt.
salivating over.
I'd see what they did there.
So we're really excited. If you're listening to the show today, up at downcountry.com, you can get the tickets still. We will sell online until noon on Friday. So noon on the 9th is kind of the cutoff because at some point in time I do have to do tabling and things like that.
That's right.
But we will be selling those tickets online until noon on the 9th. If we aren't sold out by noon on the 9th, then you can still get them by calling 217-617-3568.
That's right.
But for my sanity, please do not wait that long to get your tickets. I welcome you, but at this point, it's full tilt boogie, right, Laura?
That's right.
Yeah, I have been, Laura has been stuck in silent auction, heaven or hell, whichever way you want to call it. I mean, it's heaven because there's so much cool stuff that we have. It might be hell because it all has to be loaded into the computer system. And
well, you have the hard part. I'm just taking pictures and writing little descriptions.
Yeah.
Getting it into the computer is always like, honestly, doing anything in a computer, they're meant to help us, but it's the input that just drives, or sometimes you're waiting and waiting, so it's the output, but drives me nuts.
yeah, there is that. It takes a little bit. I mean, and that's the thing. What I think, when you think about Rhinestones and Rodeo, you have to remember there's no paid staff or employees. Yep. So this is all either by a volunteer or a board member. I mean, the audio visual that you'll see on Saturday night is all that's a PowerPoint that's loaded in and created. There's a Google Drive that we're grabbing photos out of. It's got so many moving parts to it. It's kind of crazy at this point.
The work behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about this so many times, but I think when you go to any event, you're like, oh, wow, this is really nice. But when you go to Rhinestone and Rodeo, you really are like, oh, wow, look at that, 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 look at that. I mean, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot that goes on to get to that point.
And the reality is, too, you get all of that. I mean, I've had people that go to it and then they have their own event and they have asked me and or just in general, just in passing, I want my event to look like this. Like this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? It's a standard that's kind of been put out there.
I'd agree with that.
But I think, and I know, we're talking about it all, but it's one of those things that I still get kind of blown away when you go. And I know what's all there because we're there the day before, and you've been there before, whatever. But it literally blows me out of the water every time because it's just magical. It's fun. It's, so many great people you get to talk to and just the stories you get to hear and the speakers and, getting to recognize everybody that has been part of the Downcountry family for so many years and even beyond that, it's
I'm
just
so glad you said that because this is 15.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of this year's program.
It is a huge part of this year's program because, after 15 years in, it's this year, I would say it's a distinctly our own program. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In years past, like last year, we had Michelle Witten from Global. We've had Nancy Gianni from Gigi's Playhouse. We've brought different self-advocate speakers in. We've you know, we've borrowed while we've built. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Sure,
You know,
sure.
and people to share stories. What is, I think, uniquely ours this year at year 15 is there are stories this year. I mean,
Yeah.
our stories that we're getting ready to tell. The stories of people here in our community, because now at 15 years, there's this really cool thing that happened is that we have some self-advocates who have some stories of independent living, of being employed, of going to college, of doing these things. And just FYI, 15 years ago, that was not the case.
Right.
I mean,
right. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. You can say, oh, well, no. Well, really? Okay, because I'd like you to introduce me. There's not very many out there 15 years ago.
No.
Actually, our very own Sarah Barrett probably being one of them, who 15 years ago has been employable, but she was absolutely the exception to the rule, and in part because of her
Yeah.
amazing parents.
Does it for you? I know I ask this, I think, every year because it's, again, the number continues to grow and we keep going, you know, on and on. Did you ever see
No.
it getting here?
No.
Like
No.
if you think back, so you go through the memory banks and you go think back to the very first year and putting it all together, what was your vision and everybody else's that was a part of it very early on? What was the vision? And obviously you've exceeded that, I'm sure, but what was that and where did you see it going? And obviously it's blown it out of the water.
You know, it was written on that very simple, you know what I mean, plan. You know what I mean? First year was 5 scholarships, and then it was 10 scholarships a year it was written on a 5-year plan, 10, you know, after that, and then we'd take a sabbatical year and figure out what we needed to do. What we didn't see, what we had no way of knowing, was that when you empower one person, let's say it's a Laura, and she's empowered, well, she now invites Joey or Billy or Bobby or Susie to come along with her, who they pay their own registration fees, but they stay in Laura's hotel room because they can all camp out. And so you had these teachers, you had these you had these families who were like, no, wait a second. Okay, you're going. Well, I'm going to go because we can all bunch in together. And so, you know, we awarded 5 scholarships, which that very first year, well, 5 scholarships doesn't seem like that many, but ultimately that was 23 people.
Yeah.
And you go, what? 5 scholarships, 23 people? Well, that's how many attended that first year. And the next year, sure, you had 10 scholarships with, you know, 2 who were returning to the but you ended up with, I think that second year we had 50. And then like
That's the part. Ryan, do you just freak out when everybody goes up on stage? And
Yeah.
that doesn't even
Oh,
include
yeah.
the 50 people.
Absolutely.
Only the recipients are going up on stage. And you got to be at 150, 200, 200
we're
by
now.
now.
So
But when you do what you just said, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, first year, 5 was 23. Second year, 10 was 50. The number of lives you have touched, it's just astounding.
well,
No, it's a very fair point.
it's
yeah.
interesting to see what they've all done with where they've chosen to focus. I mean, for some, if they have family members or it's related to Down syndrome, they've chosen to return to that particular conference. For others, if they have either if they're professionals or they have a child with autism, they've chosen to focus in the National Autism Conferences. Then you have others, whether they're teachers or whatever, who have focused on ADHD, which Chad, this past year just had its international conference right here in Kansas City, and you had a ton of therapists, because I don't think people understand when you talk ADHD, which, by the way, you can have Down syndrome and ADHD, and FYI, you can have autism and ADHD. Like there's a lot of different executive functioning things that go in with that. And then, when you go into the assistive technology, where you're talking bridging the gap and some of these different alternate augmentative communication conferences, which if you're listening to the show and you don't know what that is, that's for children who were born without a voice. And so it goes on and on and on. And that's not including the medical research pieces, which we know from our sweet Gage Leftwich, who passed away in 2022, how vitally important that research is, because thanks to the medical research that he participated in, they now believe they may have a viable treatment program for other children with NGLI.
Amazing.
I mean, it is amazing. And, it's that drop a pebble in the water and watch the
Right.
ripple out. But, 15 years in, I mean, my God, the costs have doubled.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the very real reality of this. It takes dollars to make these things happen. And you know, if you're listening to the show today and you aren't going to attend Rhinestones and Rodeo, you know, I would love it if you'd be willing to donate in any capacity, whether it's time, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through dollars, because it's needed. And your money does stay right here to help families right here in the tri-state area. And you know, I consider it a privilege to be a caregiver of your funds, and that when you donate dollars to Downcountry, because I know there's a lot of different very worthy organizations out there that you could be donating to, but for me, and I guess I'm biased on this, like if you want to impact a human, if it's about one life, then for me, Downcountry is a very viable choice for you to donate your dollars to. When we come back, I want to talk about a few of the silent auction items that we're going to have. I want to talk about food. I want to talk about more. But for now, this is Hashtag Everyone talking about Hashtag Everything. Good Sunday morning. This is Hashtag Everyone talking about Hashtag Everything. I'm Kate Doherty with the Radical Ryan. The lovely Laura McReynolds and the Practically Perfect and the Magnificent Mac are not with us today, but that's because we needed to start taping because old puny Ryan over there was going to come down with the bubonic plague. And so anyway, but he did get a doctor's appointment and he's going to be feeling well because he cannot miss Rhinestones and Rodeo.
Can't do it.
That
Can't
would
do
be
it.
very, very
Gotta
bad.
be there.
And we are talking about all things Rhinestones and Rodeo.
We are.
So let's talk silent auction.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are interested in the silent auction, you actually do not have to attend Rhinestones and Rodeo. The link to the silent auction goes live tomorrow.
That's right.
And it will be on Facebook. It'll be on the website. It'll be on, you know, all of those platforms. And you can go on and you can bid. And when you go on and you bid, there are iPads that you can bid on. There's a plethora of different like work-related tools. There's kid stuff. There's, oh my goodness, there's Fox tickets. There's, oh help, Laura, what all? She was taking pictures yesterday. There's an amazing cutting board that is phenomenal that my husband thinks he's bidding on, but I've told him no. But anyway, he does.
I do know one.
Yeah.
That isn't on there, but it's going to be.
No, yeah, right.
'Cause I haven't given you mine.
You haven't given me yours
Right,
yet.
yeah,
Luckily,
that's
I can do that. What
But-
would that one be?
That'll
What
be 4 Bulls tickets to an upcoming Chicago Bulls game.
Nice.
Compliments of WGEM, as WGEM
Nice.
Sports Radio is the voice of the Chicago Bulls. Just throwing
Okay,
it all out
and
there.
while we're plugging, we also have, and I didn't know this was such a big deal, but another member of the board was talking about this. So I went down to the city and I asked the fire chief and I asked the police chief, and they both said, sure, we'd love to donate to Downcountry. So they are offering a fire truck ride to school and a dare car ride to school.
What?
And apparently this is a hot ticket item.
yeah, it
I had
is.
no idea, but according to Brittany, these go for a little bit.
I mean, you
so
said school, but could
it
that
has
also
to
be to work?
You might be able to talk them into that. I believe the certificate says K through 12.
Lame.
I'm not seeing any
We're a
12th
kid
grader
at
that
heart,
would
but
want
it's
to
fun.
ride in the dare car, but I'm seeing a second grader who might think that's pretty darn cool. Or hey, a preschooler.
Hey, look at that. You never know. You never
Well,
know.
and the nice thing about the silent auction is again, if you for whatever reason you cannot attend, you absolutely have the ability to go online, to bid, to participate. The event will be live streamed that night. The silent auction will end at 8 p.m. on January 10th. Although bidding is extended. If you get in a bidding war, it'll extend for 3 minutes, so you get an opportunity
that's
if you're going to miss. So
hysterical.
it does do that. But 8 p.m. is when it ends on January 10th.
Now, do you know, is it one of those things you can set the bid? Like this is as high as I'll go, or do you have to just keep putting it in?
You can set your bid. You can set your bid. So yeah, that is kind of
Playing the
nice. And then
game.
you can still so yeah, it has all the things. We've used 32auctions.com is the platform we use, and it's worked very well for several years, and so we're gonna keep on using it, and hopefully you guys are gonna get some really amazing things.
And support an amazing organization in the process. Thank you very much.
Items do need to be picked up by noon on January 11th, or you need to make arrangements for that pickup by noon on January 11th.
And if not, because this is an ongoing year-to-year thing.
Yes.
So-
And if please pick them up, or
Yeah.
else they'll be donated back to charity. That's how
Yeah.
that works.
I think that makes sense.
But anyway, we're grateful. It is amazing. Most people have zero issues because they want their items.
Right.
We have ground beef in there. We have venison. We have morel mushrooms.
Ooh.
We have fresh eggs. We have chickens. We have several different things.
I'm
Also
going
food
morels.
items as well.
Last year they were gone before the auction even started.
Yeah, I put a buy it now on them. I'm raising my buy it now on the morel mushrooms this year because the buy it now is like, what? They bought them. So, yeah, we'll have to do that again. Anyway, I don't know. The silent auction's fun. The silent auction is very fun. And I look forward.
I think it's fun just to walk around because when you're walking around at the actual event, okay, I know you can bid on all these things you just at home online, but I'm trying to get people to go because it's amazing. It's really fun because the way the silent auction items are set up, you also get to see the art up close and personal because sometimes during the live auction for the art, yes, we're walking around with it, and yes, it's up on the big screen, so you know and yes, it's actually in the program, so you know exactly what you're bidding on. But I think it's kind of nice to walk through the art and look at it up close before you start the whole thing.
It is. It kind of gets you the mojo.
Yeah.
And so you do have 5 to 8, but you have to remember, like, we start dinner service at 6:30. And the program starts at 7:15. So you can get there whenever you want to get there, but just be aware, like, that's kind of how that starts. You really do want to be there closer to 5 than, 6:30 or 7.
Right.
I mean, just so you get a chance to walk around a little bit more.
Yeah. Because you pack your program.
We do.
This is not just a, come hang out, walk around, mill about, visit with your friends, and then listen to somebody for 5 minutes and then go do some more of the same that you were just doing. You pack your program, which I think is part of what blows people away.
Well, I think, I feel like it's important that people understand what they're doing with their dollars.
Exactly.
So like, I feel like if you don't
Hello?
do that, and I want people to understand, and I want people to know these people out in the community. I mean, like, so one of our board members, I don't know if you guys knew this, he turned 21 today.
Yes, he did.
He turned
Big
21.
happy birthday belated. That's right.
Caden Connors. But the cool part about Caden is he and his family were our first I Learn recipients all the way back
That's
in,
cool.
when we awarded in 2012. So that's really neat. I mean, and Caden's gone on. He's gone to college for life. He's got a job. I mean, he is. Oh my gosh, he called me this morning, and
He's a phenomenal young man.
he is. He's one of my faves. So, and he says I'm beautiful.
Oh,
So,
well,
there's
can't go
that.
wrong there.
I'm 52 years old and I'm beautiful. So I'm
right.
like, thank you very much, Caden. You're the fave. Right? I will respond to flattery and all.
But back to what you were saying in the first segment. 15 years ago when you started and that family was in that first group of recipients, the goal obviously was for independent living, but the reality then was not.
That was not the case.
And now look at Caden.
No.
I mean, he's on the board. He's going to college. He's got a job. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, he doesn't even live at home anymore. He lives with a roommate.
Yes. Well, his the other piece of this is he has his family had to advocate hard for Caden to be fully included. I mean, like, they had to very nicely, they had to exercise everything because they did not want him in a self-contained setting.
Right.
And so it was extraordinary. And Caden didn't need to be in a self-contained setting. He wasn't a behavioral problem. He wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, he was very capable and is very capable of being with his typical peers. And quite frankly, most of the time, 99.5% of the time, he probably behaves better than any of the rest of us because he's constantly telling me, well, in the board meetings, he's telling me don't cuss if I get excited, which I shouldn't cuss. I know, I apologize, but occasionally I do lose my way. And I'm admitting that it's Sunday morning. I'm going to pray about it. But I mean, like I do. And he absolutely corrects me. And then, if I get a little too excited, he will also tell me that I need to calm down a little bit, which is probably something I need to hear maybe a wee bit more often.
A little bit, just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit, because I can be a little much.
I love that Caden is a voice of reason.
Same. And he will be there, Rhinestones and Rodeo, and he'll be assisting with everything. And so you'll get to meet him, which is fun. And let me see. Okay, so
Last year, you had another self-advocate talk that was one of your first.
and that was Marissa. They both, Caden and Marissa, are
So
both
they were
out
in
of-
that first group?
Yes, and I
Okay.
think Marissa was 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay.
You're right. Marissa is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Marissa is also. Yeah, that first group was amazing, and all the groups are amazing. But it's just fun to. It's fun to have met Caden and Marissa when they were so much younger, and to see what's become possible for them
Mm-hmm.
throughout their lives, which is really neat. Like during COVID, Marissa went and got herself hired at McDonald's. Like literally went in, advocated for herself, and her mom didn't do it. Her mom's like,
Yeah.
I don't know why she decided she wanted to work at McDonald's, but she wanted to work at McDonald's, and she wanted to do like the early morning bakery stuff. So anyway, she went in and got herself hired. Just all
awesome.
on her own volition. And
love it.
anyway, nobody wanted to work during COVID, but Marissa sure did. So there you go.
There's an opening, there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Oh, that's
absolutely.
amazing.
She is a great, and she has a YouTube channel called Miss Marissa's Moments that you really should go on and take a peek at, because she teaches on her YouTube channel how to do different independent living skills on things to do. Are you waving at me?
Yes.
Okay, well I apologize. Okay, well I started to wax
You
poetic.
sounded
but-
you sounded very like upset. You waving at me? I'm like, well,
ooh.
I mean, I was, but I just
I think you're feeling fragile because you're ill.
a little bit.
Okay, I think the wife need to be aware. I'm going to give her a call after this and be like, he's coming home with the man flu. It's happening.
Stop with this man flu garbage. I hate that. It is the worst. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Well, we'll talk about it later. For now, this is hashtag everyone talking about hashtag everything. Good Sunday morning. This is hashtag everyone talking about hashtag everything. I'm Kate Doherty with the lovely Laura and the radical Ryan. Magnificent Mac and Practically Penny are not here, but that's because we needed to get started because the bubonic plague was
boy, here we go.
taking over Ryan. And anyway, but
The
and I
man
do
flu.
actually, I'm not bringing up the man flu again.
You
I
did though
felt
already,
bad.
and the wound is deep. The wound is
Okay,
deep.
what's the big deal with it? What's the problem?
Like, why is it a problem for me or just in general?
I think for you.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like, okay, I love my wife and I love you guys. But, like, there's this stigma that, like, when a woman gets sick, they do everything and anything. Like,
Yes.
And they still just, they get
not a
they
stigma.
get after it. Or not a stigma, maybe it's the wrong word. But
It's the reality.
Sure. For a man, and that's fine, I mean, and I give you credit there. For me, like, I do stuff.
Okay, what do you do?
For instance, the other day we had it scheduled to
And you
go.
were sick.
Oh yeah, I was still sick. Yeah, we had it scheduled to go to this museum with the kids. The wife said, and I wasn't as bad as what I am now, but it was like it was coming, So I wasn't feeling great. The wife goes, "Hey, you can stay home if you want." And in my mind, I'm thinking, great, I would love to. And I love my wife, and I'm not saying she would, but it would then come back to me like, well, you just had the man flu. You could have went. So I went, and I was very good, and I did everything, and then some.
And you probably spread it. No.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
But don't.
No.
Wait a minute. Hold on. But if that's the same case for the woman, then you're probably spreading it even though you're doing all this stuff.
So no. So I feel like you have a misconception, and then we're going to go back and talk about Ryan
Please,
Stone's
yes.
rodeo. So we aren't actually talking about you going out and being out and among the public. Like that is not
Well, not
actually
even among the
an
public, doing
expectation.
something. Yeah.
Like no, it's more things like the dishes. The
Yeah.
laundry, putting the
Yeah.
children to bed, bathing
Yeah.
the children, like
I still did all that, but we want to talk about that.
Well,
All right.
that would
Then-
have been the example.
you would been the
I guess, yeah.
you would be the exception to the rule then.
Now-
Because in my experience,
Yeah.
And mine.
every male that I know, when they get sick, like if they're actually sick, they go down for the count.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they go down and they go to bed and they cover themselves up and they do not emerge until they feel better. That is my experience with men. When I'll use an example. Years ago, we went to the PBR. Every member of my family in a hotel room was throwing up. It was magnificent fun. Like every member, it
Well,
was
thank you.
phenomenal. So after Tony and Elliot get done throwing up, they go and they're off, like they snuggle down and they're asleep. Ella, who I'm still taking care of because that poor kid is still sick, I'm gathering the bedding and all of these different things, and I'm tossing it in the hallway, and I'm cleaning up, because it's a one room. It was a
wonderful
horrible
smell.
experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, I, however, while I'm throwing up, am up all night long cleaning up this room while every other member of the family is sleeping. I too was sick. So this is where the man flu comes about, darling. That's where it comes.
What I will say is I have been, I am not prone, or how do I want to say this? Women are far better than men with all of this stuff. I have no issue saying that. You guys have the upper hand. I don't know how you do it, but you do. So I will give you the flowers. I will give you the credit. I think where it just comes back to me is I ain't no bump on a log.
Oh, okay.
I ain't no bump on a log.
Perhaps you
here.
should start viewing yourself as the exception to the rule.
Now, have there been times I've been down for the count? Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you should view yourself as an exception to the rule, and we'll go from there.
All right.
So now, having moved on, since
From
I'm
involvement in a hotel room.
oh, it's horrible.
And the man.
It's horrible. You never know what we're going to talk about on the show. Anyway.
That's what I was thinking, how did we get here?
That's right, no doubt.
So anyway, before we went on break and before Ryan got morally offended about the man flu, Laura said, when we go back for the next segment, let's talk about the food.
I did say that. I said, I want to talk about food.
And
I did say that.
And the food for Rhinestones and Rodeo. Thank you, Neiman Foods. Thank you, Patio. Thank you, Walnut Ridge Farms, the Pool family. Thank you, all the various different dessert locations that they've gotten those. But we have sushi when you walk in. We have shrimp when you walk in. We have charcuterie that's provided by local farmers. We have got, oh my goodness, we've got, I think, mac and cheese for the kids and the toasted raviolis. We have the patio salad, and these are all things you can munch on. This isn't the main course.
This isn't dinner yet.
And then we have, this year, we have prime rib, and we have whole hog that'll be served family style to the table with potatoes and a vegetable medley. So very
I want
excited.
everyone to know this is a sit-down dinner,
It is a sit-down dinner.
which is not expected if you've never been.
This is true.
It is a sit-down dinner.
Yeah.
It
Big deal.
is all food is served table side. It is served to you. We do not do buffets. I mean, like I guess even really the shrimp and isn't really buffet. I mean, like it's
No, that's more like heavy hors d'oeuvre.
and then we have all the after the main meal, we go into the live auction, and there's no food service during then. But at the end of the live auction, there's Gem City pizzas, and there's a plethora of desserts, and there's dancing. But I would put our food up against anybody. I mean,
Me too.
I really think you bang for your buck. It's well worth it.
Right. And okay, so this may be a controversial statement, whatever. I say all the time when people complain about events, I've never heard anyone complain about your event, but when people complain about events, I always say, but this is a donation. You're not paying for the dinner. You're paying for the donation. In your case, there is not one person I've ever heard that said, boy, that ticket was a lot and I didn't get what, I
didn't get
deserved
enough
of."
food.
Yeah. No one is ever going to say that at Rhinestones and Rodeo.
No.
Yeah.
I believe we need to feed, and also here's the thing: for many of our families, for some of our families, this is like their only night out a year.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you have a kid who's medically
Yeah.
significant, you don't really go out to eat a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, or you can, but I mean, there's other things that kind of get in the way. So a lot of our families, this is their night. This is their night out. Like, this is a big deal for them. It's also part of the reason why we keep it what we call country black tie, where it's your Sunday best. That's what country black tie is. But it's because, if you have a kid who's medically significant and you're in sweatpants and a sweatshirt all the time, getting gussied up is like a whole experience for you and something you don't do every day.
Right.
And, I think sometimes people forget that. I'd like to be comfy too. But I
I want to say something about the dress code, though, because say it again.
Country black
tie. Because I said something the other day when we were all working on silent auction items. All the girls that I go with every year, and Ralph always wears like a sports coat and pants. He doesn't put on the full suit. But like Tony, of course, is in, the tux and the cowboy hat. So there's a little spread of everything. I've seen guys in jeans and a button down and a blazer, whatever. So there's a spread of everything for the guys. For the girls, I think there's even a wider spread. I was telling the gals the other day, all of my crew was like, I'm wearing long gowns this year. I was like, okay. So I went out and I bought a long gown. I'm the only one wearing a long gown. But you know what? I'm wearing the darn thing.
That's right.
Because anything goes. And there will be somebody else there in a long gown, even though I'm the only one on my crew that's doing it.
Yeah.
So,
and there'll be people there in black slacks and black,
yes,
like,
so for the women, it's even a broader spectrum of dress.
Yeah.
Just look nice, dress up, have fun with it. That's honest. When people have said to me, I don't get it, I don't know how to dress, that's my answer. Look nice, dress up, have fun, wear what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring a little bling. I will say the bling.
I do like a little bling.
A little bling. A lot of people have the blingy cowboy boots, or they have the blingy belts, or they.
Right.
I mean, I feel like the bling.
I mean,
kinda
there is
goes
the word
along
rhinestone in the event, so
That
a
is
little
true.
bling is
with
good.
that. But yeah, I mean, it's fun, and I mean, you come in and you just kind of eat, drink, mingle, dance, and hopefully learn a little bit, and you raise money for a great cause, and you get some really cool art, which
We haven't even talked about the art.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Kidding.
I mean, we did a whole radio show on the
Okay.
art. We
Yeah.
did do that. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm excited about the art. And we have some really special pieces this year. And we have one special piece at the Culver Stockton Wildcat. I can talk about this because I'm releasing this information tomorrow. The Culver Stockton Wildcat football team is helping serve this year in addition to the Marion County FFA. But we took a canvas up to Culver, and those football boys, who are lovely, they all dipped their hand and they made the Down syndrome footprint
Nice.
in the shape of the number 4 for JT.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're really excited because we're going to auction that piece specifically for JT. He's the young man from Palmyra who was injured in a football game this past year. And so those dollars will go directly to JT to help him as he works towards recovery. And I am hoping that next year I have a JT original piece of art, because he was before his accident, he was an artist, but since his accident,
I
they've
saw this,
been
yeah.
helping him learn how to paint so that he can do this. So I am hardcore wanting a JT original
Yeah.
for next year's Rhinestones and Rodeo. But for this year, we created art for him that those dollars raised will go
That's
towards
fabulous.
him, because he has
I
volunteered
do
for
think
us
it's
for many
unique,
years.
the direct support aspect of some of the things you're doing this year, and it just
Yeah, and they'll have to
just-
come to hear about the rest of
yeah.
them.
I'm
not. That's the only one. I'm telling about
I'm not
JT.
saying anything else, but there are people in our community with serious needs, and JT is just
One of them.
example. Yeah,
We
yeah.
have 3 extraordinary, what I would call, I mean,
extraordinary. Not, I
Yeah.
mean, extraordinary is a great word, but it's truly is extraordinary.
and
these situations.
and we have 3 situations that we'll talk about at Rhinestones and
Yeah.
Rodeo that they need our community around them,
That's
and that's
right.
all there is to it. And so, anyway, so our
Give
hope,
with a willing heart. These families need it, and all of our normal families and all of our scholarship recipients need it. Everybody needs it.
We're all, I guess we're all extraordinary. Anyway, so if you don't have your tickets, up at downcountry.com. If you want to bid at the silent auction, up at downcountry.com. You can also go to our Facebook, our social, go to any of our social media.
it.
And if you can't figure out any of that, you just call 217-617-3568. Y'all have a blessed week.